Hello, my name is Claire Hebert, and this is my impromptu speech. This speech is sort of about how my college life is going. When people ask me how my college life is going, I have to admit I get a little anxious. Not because it's going terrible, but because I didn't live it as fully as I hoped. I didn't have the first semester that the majority of college freshmen have. The first semester of someone's college career is where their new life begins. They join different organizations, make new, long-lasting friendships, study hard, but party harder. It was insane how excited I was to start my new life. Unfortunately, my body had other plans. The first Saturday of my first semester of school, when A&M beat the hell out of UCLA, I woke up completely breathless. My chest ached, my head felt terrible, and I was throwing up. Being sick has always been a natural characteristic of mine. But this was something different. The stubborn child that I am, I thought I was fine to go to the game. The next day, when I had 105 fever and the chills, I thought I should probably go to the doctor. On Monday, I was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus and hepatitis. I won't disgust you with the gorier details, but basically I had severe fatigue, fever, yellow complexion, swollen lymph nodes in my throat and underarms, vomiting, swollen spleen and liver that could easily bust and bleed out, a terrible rash that inflamed my entire body, and a couple other symptoms that are personal and gross. If you asked anyone, I looked like death and felt 10 times worse. I spent my first 30 days of college, including my birthday, in the hospital. During this, I was getting worse because I kept stressing out about school. After much help from my family and advisor, I decided to withdraw from college. I thought that I would never be myself again. To say I was depressed would be an understatement. Not only did I look and feel absolutely miserable, but now I lost a chance that I would never get back. Everyone thought that I was just gravely ill, but it was so much more than that. I lost contact with everyone but my parents and the doctors. I lost tons and tons of money. I lost my confidence, my happiness, my strength and muscle, lost an experience I would never get back, lost friends, lost at least 3 months of my life, and lost a better GPA. I can't say I ever started feeling like myself again. The doctor said that even when I think I'm better, I won't be back to my complete self until 7 years later. Yeah, you heard that right. In November, when I finally got rid of most of the symptoms and could actually get out of bed without fainting, I started interning for this company called APQC. It was definitely an experience in itself. I met tons of new people, learned to code and script using Java, and even went to DC for KM Worlds. I got the chance to work on a couple engineering projects and made quite an impression. The company even asked when I could work for them again. I definitely had an interesting experience and am very grateful for the opportunity. However, by the end of December, I was ready to go back to Aggieland. I kind of expected this semester to go pretty smoothly, but I guess that's what happens before you actually go to college. I was very naive. I didn't realize that my roommates and other friends would gain more, seemingly more important friendships while I was stuck at home. I couldn't join any organizations because I didn't realize it in time. I lost my body confidence completely and couldn't eat any of the same foods that I've eaten all my life because now my stomach processed them differently. And the realization that I would be applying for ETAM and graduating at the same time as my younger sister haunted me. I believe everything happens for a reason, but I'm still trying to figure out the reason behind getting sick. To describe how I constantly felt in 3 words: lonely, confused, and depressed. I had bits and pieces of happiness that shine through, and I thought that for some people, that's how life goes. It's like the majority of it's pretty crappy, but every once in a while, small things happen that makes you realize why you're here. Then when things get too good, life brings the crap back in to remind you who's boss. That's why people say enjoy the little things. I did make a couple new friendships, and for the ones that stuck around when I was sick, I will always be grateful. I got extremely close to my mom, even more than I was, which I didn't think was possible. I'm still learning how to live with the symptoms that I'll have for the rest of my life. Every once in a while, a bit of depression overwhelms me, but I've learned how to push it away and live a little happier. This semester taught me a couple things about myself. 1. I don't really like engineering. Believe me, I wish I did. But unfortunately, the thought of going to work every day to figure out problems based on complete math and science bores me. 2. Despite this, I'm going to stay in engineering. And 3. I have 2 passions that I would love to turn into a career someday: writing and psychology. I will now talk about each of these things individually. I have always loved to write, and I may be a little rusty in all of these essays, but I've always been pretty good about getting creative ideas on paper. I feel like I can move people with what I write about. I keep a journal and write in it just about every day. The words flow out of me with ease, and it's the simplest thing that brings me happiness. I've always loved reading and would dream about becoming a successful novelist. It's definitely my happy place. I've always been very good at people. What I mean by this is that I can figure them out without them realizing the information they're giving me. People, even complete strangers, have always found it extremely easy to open up to me. I don't really know what it is, but it's been like that forever. I can read what they say and separate it from what they're actually thinking, and then tell them exactly what they need to hear. Knowing this, I've always found mental disorders fascinating. So the second dream of mine would be go to medical school to become a psychiatrist. However, I'm going to stick with engineering to the end. I've always had a knack for business and people in business. I'm extremely sociable and know what companies are looking for. This is the reason why I want to go into industrial distribution. I might find that if I get into it, I will completely fall in love with it. If not, I know that my other 2 dreams will be waiting for me on the outside. After all, why would I want to do something that doesn't make me happy for the rest of my life? I would say that my first year of college, if I can even call it a year, was definitely a learning experience. I learned about how to take care of myself and be happy. I learned about the people around me, learned how to study, and that staying up past 1 a.m. is miserable. I learned to never take family for granted, and that nights with your close friends are the best. I learned that Cinemark in College Station is the best theater in the world because of the kettle corn and recliners. I learned that God is always there for you no matter what, and most importantly, I learned about myself and what I want to do with my life. I need to be happy. I know that if I set my goals, I'm hard-headed enough to make them happen. And I learned that A&M is where I truly belong. Thank you.